Hello everyone and welcome to our Techinar, Leveraging Zillow Group's Tools to Grow Your Business, sponsored by Zillow Group. I'm Susan Harrison, Exit Realty Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications, and I'll be moderating this session. If you haven't done so already, please dial into the audio portion of the call using the phone number that was emailed to you, or listen in using your computer speakers. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please type them into the question box on your GoToWebinar pane, and we'll do our best to address them. When we asked our associates which topics they'd like to learn more about on our monthly Techinars, learning more about Zillow was on their list. Joining us today to explain how agents can learn how to utilize Zillow Group's tools and products and how to leverage your online profile to attract today's consumers, we welcome Director of Industry Outreach, Andrew Hafzala. Andrew?
Hi everybody, this is Andrew Hafzala from Seattle, Washington, and I want to thank Susan and Seth and all the folks at Exit Realty for having us on the call today. It's always a privilege, and we love working with Exit Realty agents and Exit Realty as a partner of ours as well. So I'm just really fortunate. I come from the real estate industry as well. I have been an agent in the past as well. I started in about 2004. Seattle is my hometown, and Zillow Group is headquartered in Seattle. So I found them in 2010, and so I'm one of the tenured employees here, 7 years and running, and lots of growth, lots of exciting changes that have occurred over the course of the last 7 years. As I'm sure you all are aware, this industry is never boring, and so we're on the journey together, and I'm just excited to share some insights with you today. All right, so today's topic, Zillow Group's tools for your business. What I'm going to do is I'll probably walk through a couple of slides just on our partnership with you all, and just display how Exit Realty on the branding side is empowering you all with branding to make sure that you're leveraging your listings and making sure that the Exit brand is noted very prominently on Zillow listings. Then we're going to talk about one of our newest features, which is our Premier Agent app. We continue to evolve the app, launch features. It's a free piece of software, so I kind of wanted to dive into a couple of the unique attributes of that app, and then I'll walk into our product suite. So some of you have heard of our Premier Agent program, for example. I'll probably dive into that a little bit closer so you get an idea. Should you decide you want to advertise in the future, great. If not, that's okay as well. We're going to talk about enhancing your profile and other additional resources as well today. So I just want to thank Exit Realty again. We partner with some brokerages across the country, and some of our partnerships are okay, and some of them are excellent. I would rate Exit Realty's partnership as excellent. What they've done primarily are 4 different things that really empower you, the agent, and so you should be proud of them, and we thank them as well. But really, when you carry a listing, we show that listing predominantly up to date very quickly on both Zillow and Trulia, and so the listing feed from Exit to Zillow Group is incredibly fast. Guaranteed visibility for all listing agents, great notoriety on your own listings, and then the Exit branding as well. And then there's something called the reviews integration. This one's interesting as well. Exit Realty, when you have listings on your Zillow profile and your Trulia profile, Exit will take them and then display them on exitrealty.com as well as on your profile pages and on your listing pages. If you have questions about that, you can ask us afterwards to make sure that that's working okay. All right, so a couple of very quick slides. This is just a very brief introduction. I just want to make sure everybody's clear. When you do carry a listing, Exit will send that to Zillow Group, and you'll be listed as the listing agent automatically. There's nothing extra for you to do. We've got your photo, your name, your contact details, and lots of great Exit branding, both on the search results page, so you can see where Exit Realty is circled. Also at the bottom of the page on what we call the home details page, there's a beautiful Exit logo there, and then again at the bottom where it says listing provided by. So I just wanted to highlight sort of the branding and the fact that you don't have to do anything extra when you carry a listing. Exit will send that to Zillow Group automatically, and you'll be displayed as a listing agent on your own listing. It's a wonderful partnership, and we're really fortunate to have that with you guys. So I like to kind of recap. A lot happened to Zillow in the last 10 years, and so I want to just get everybody up to speed. You know, at one time we were called Zillow.com, and then we dropped the .com because mobile, the prominence of recognition of mobile became such a dominant player in the industry. So in maybe 2011 we were called Zillow, and in 2015 we had yet another name change. Today we're called Zillow Group. Zillow Group encompasses a family of consumer brands. These are brands you might be familiar with, like Zillow, Trulia, Hot Pads, which is our rental-specific brand. Street Easy and Naked Apartments are in New York. Why do we operate this strategy? And I quickly like to highlight that consumers often go to various sites and mobile applications and they find them on their own. And sometimes they have a preference based on color. It could be that they like blue, they'll go to Zillow. Green, they go to Trulia, or they're in the rental market, they go to Hot Pads, or they're in New York City. Wherever the consumer is shopping, we want them hopefully to be on a portal that's offering them really great insights, unique content, and the ability to connect with a real estate professional. I'm going to highlight that again in a moment. So as far as where the consumer is shopping, we want them to have choices, options, and we want to continue developing brands that are powerful in that they empower consumers with information. Second to that, or what you'll see below that's the business brands. And this is sort of where you all come in. This is whether we're dealing with MLS data like Bridge and Redsley. They help import and export MLS data. MoreTech is in Lincoln, Nebraska. They're sort of helping the mortgage professionals with software tools. And then another unique partnership with Exit Realty and us is this the company called Dotloop. Dotloop is one of your approved suppliers as well, so the partnership with Zillow Group extends beyond just Zillow and Trulia, but inside of Dotloop, you all have what's called, it's a premier partnership. And so you have unlimited number of loops, and it's available with a single sign-on right on your own resource center. That's really powerful, and Dotloop is basically the leader in transaction management. So we want to empower you all with great tools to convert leads faster, and I'll talk about our Premier Agent app. But once you get that lead and you want to put them through the transaction process, we want to empower you with a tool to basically inspire them to utilize paperless software. Like, this is paperless software to get your offer signed, to get them in transaction, and to communicate with other agents, all through Dotloop. And so you have a great partnership with us there as well. And we're really fortunate to have Dotloop as part of our family. Zillow Group's mission as a company is to build the largest, most trusted and vibrant home-related marketplace in the world. That is a grandiose mission, and I like to highlight the word marketplace. This is where you all come in it's incredibly important that everybody understands this. But as a marketplace, as a media company, Zillow Group doesn't want to be a marketplace participant. So we don't want to be an MLS or a brokerage. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're creating a healthy marketplace where consumers come into, again, one of our family of sites or brands or mobile applications. They look at content, maybe they save their home, they're checking their estimate, they're doing all the things that they want to do to get information, and the ultimate goal is to partner with one of you all. We can't service the consumer beyond the information that we provide them. We don't want to be that. So we create a healthy marketplace where we connect consumers to real estate professionals, and then you take it to that next step. And that's what we're doing. That's why agents buy advertising, essentially, is because we've got a great, generous audience, and you want to connect with that audience. And that's what we call our marketplace. So I just wanted to highlight what our mission is, and every company meeting, 3,000 employees across the country all recite that mission in unison. A little bit cultish-like, but we're proud of that mission. We stand by that mission. All right, so let's talk about your online presence. What we've noticed in the last 10 years is that consumers are more attracted to real estate online. Many of them are coming online to start their search. Many of them are also coming online to find a great agent. And what happens is if you have that online presence, they're probably going to research you a little bit ahead of time. This could be Google. And if you have a Zillow and Trulia profile, your profile is going to skyrocket to the top of the search results. But it could be organically that they come to Zillow and they just put into our agent directory the city, the location, the type of home that they're looking for, and then they're shopping for agents. So keep that in mind as you develop an online strategy. What we've done is we developed a system where we now have hundreds of thousands of real estate agents across the country that have free profiles on Zillow. You don't have to spend any money to have a free profile, get reviews, add your past sales, put in a bio. You could even put in a short video, use our Premier Agent app. All of these tools are completely free. And what happens is when you carry that online profile on Zillow, we've made it such that it automatically will sync to Trulia. No extra work. You get a review on Zillow, within 24 hours or so, it'll show up on Trulia, and your profiles should mirror each other. And that's great. It's a free online presence. It can't encourage you enough to have that presence. Great to have your website, but also keep in mind that the majority of consumers are coming to sites like Zillow and Trulia, so you want to be present on those sites. Furthermore, some agents, to the tune of about 85,000 agents currently, are advertising as what we call a premier agent. That means they bought a zip code, they're getting some traction inside of the local community that they want to grow their business, and they're displayed on the listings in that neighborhood or that zip code. And I'll talk a lot more about Premier Agent in a little bit, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows when you advertise on Zillow as a Premier Agent, you're also seen on Trulia as a Premier Agent. Very healthy program, 7 years old. We've had, countless case studies and lots of agents who have grown their business, developed teams on top of this concept of meeting the online consumer. And so we're, again, connecting consumer to all of you. Premier Agent is the #1 way that we've found to do that. A little bit deeper on reviews and past sales. I mentioned this, but they're visible across both Zillow and Trulia. It's really easy to ask for reviews. There's lots of different theories and methods. You can ask for reviews right from your Zillow profile. You can also ask for reviews right from the Premier Agent app, which I'll go through in a little bit here as well. But again, the power of reviews, the power of a reputation system online, incredibly important. As well, I want to showcase this newer feature, and I'll talk more about this in a little bit. But we've since developed what we call a team profile. Lots of studies that we've done on the consumer where historically when we didn't have a team profile, the consumer didn't know that when they contacted an agent that maybe a team member would be the one reaching out. What we've done now is we've given the consumer the full scale of the ability to understand who's on whose team. And if you are a team lead, the benefits to having team members is that your team profile will showcase the aggregate of all of the reviews and the past sales that your team displays. Meaning, if you have a team member during the duration of time that they are associated with your team profile, all the reviews and past sales that they get will also double attribute on your master team profile. That's really powerful. And when they leave your team, they take their profile with them, but they also get the opportunity to continue to showcase that work, and you always have that work. And that's the concept of, the team lead is usually the one spending money on advertising. They're usually the ones empowering team members with leads. When those leads convert and you want to showcase the reputation, we think it's important for both the team member and the team lead to showcase that reputation. The team profile does that really well. Okay, so I've mentioned the Premier Agent app a couple of times, and I just want to dive in deeper. What the Premier Agent app is, it's a free piece of software that we've developed that you can download from Android or iOS. You go to your store, you'll put in Premier Agent. From there, you'll have access to all of the features as soon as you log in. You log in with your Zillow email address, whatever you use to log in to your profile, and your password. And then you'll be open to a whole bunch of new tools. And what we're calling this is we call it a mobile first, basically a CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relation Management System. There's dozens of these in the industry. We're building our own homegrown CRM, and we're giving it to all agents for free, whether you advertise or not. And the goal of this is to be able to monitor, track all of your leads and contacts and convert them faster. That's basically what it is. Manage your profile, upload a video walkthrough, which I'll talk about in a minute, track every status of every lead with metrics. Holistically, our vision behind this is, should you decide to advertise or should you just decide to have a profile on Zillow and occasionally get a lead because you carry a listing, we want you to convert that lead faster and manage your profile better. Okay, so what can you do on the Premier Agent app? You can add to your profile. You can request reviews at the signing table right from your Premier Agent app. You can monitor your listings. You can also add what we call a video walkthrough, which is a 2-minute soundless video, and I'll explain a little bit more of that in a minute. But ultimately, all of these things are done. You can even connect to Loop right from the Premier Agent app, and in the next, I'd say maybe 6 months or so, you'll see the integration of the Premier Agent app and the Loop product increase as well. But you can connect to the two of them now. There'll be further integration down the road. And so you're managing your inbox, you're keeping track of all your contacts and your clients, you're managing your profile. We also have a resource center. I know you all have a resource center. You can access that, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the webinar. So the video walkthrough is It's a funny story, but I was at Inman about 2 months ago, I think, and I landed at JFK in New York City, and I was at the baggage carousel, and a dozen or so Facebook employees were there testing VR, virtual reality, and they had the goggles. I don't know if any of you have tried this. And I basically put on these goggles, and I was immediately imported to, I think I was in Thailand on a boat, and I thought, wow, this is really powerful. And after 2 minutes, I got the tap on the shoulder that said, Andrew, you're done now. And I thought, wow, I was literally in another world. And I think about the future of real estate, and at that Inman conference, this came up quite a bit, that the future of how consumers shop for real estate will change. And video today is powerful, but virtual reality in the future is going to really transplant that consumer directly into your listing from the comfort of their own home. We're not there yet, and I can say that honestly, we don't have that technology built on Zillow. What we do have is the ability to shoot a 2-minute video right from your smartphone at your listing and then attach it to your listing once the listing goes live. That's done through the Premier Agent app. The reason I connect these two things is down the road, this concept of video and this concept of virtual reality will be more prominent than it is today, and we're taking steps in that direction, and I know other companies are doing that as well. So just keep this in mind. The consumers love the virtual experience of trying to see deeper than what 15 photographs can do online, and keep that in mind. When you shoot a video, your listing is going to show up higher in the search results. If they search Seattle, Washington, all of the listings that have a video walkthrough will sort to the top, so you're getting more visibility. You're also you're basically telling your seller that you're a little bit more tech savvy, doing something extra for them, and then it should attract more buyers to your listing. So that's our video walkthrough product shot right through the Premier Agent app. The other thing we just launched inside the Premier Agent app is this ability to connect third-party leads inside of this software. What that means is we now have about 30 different partners, including Realtor.com and Homes.com, and wherever you decide to advertise, eventually what you can do here is connect your leads coming from other sources into the Premier Agent app. That way, all of your leads can be managed in one repository. This software, should you decide that it's a good fit for your business. So we've made sure that, and we're continuing to add partners, but we have about 30 partners right now. It's very easy to connect, and all of a sudden, when you start getting leads into your Premier Agent app, you can respond faster. You'll get push notifications when you get a lead, and you'll be able to connect with that consumer relatively quickly. We also want you to track your performance. So what we've done is, inside of the Premier Agent app, both on mobile and on desktop, is you can basically filter by date and understand what leads you're getting at what time. So last week I got 20 leads. Okay, great. What were they? There was 11 that were seller leads. There were 10 that were buyer leads, and the property prices were such. And I've converted them all, and we also can track the lead status. So you can say they're new. Some are cold leads. Some are warm leads, some are hot leads, and you can segment them. And then every day you would wake up and you'd look at the software and you'd figure out who you need to contact when. So we want to give you as much reporting as possible. I want to touch on teams a little bit deeper. This is such a big part of the industry. Many of you might be team leads, some of you might be team members, some of you might be thinking to grow a team in the future. What we've seen in the last few years of the evolution of our product is that as Premier Agents began obtaining more leads that they could handle, they started distributing them to partner agents, meaning members. It could be someone in your office that you're partnering with. It could be someone that's legitimately on your team as a buyer's agent. However you decide to structure your business, what we're offering inside of the Premier Agent app is the ability to route or broadcast leads to one or multiple team members. You can almost think of this like Uber. When you call your Uber, Uber is distributing your need for transportation to multiple drivers in a region. The first driver that picks that up, or the most convenient driver, is the one that will ultimately be your driver and will come to your home to pick you up. In the case of a consumer, as the consumer hits contact agent, well, we want the consumer to get an immediate response, right? And we want the consumer to get paired with the best agent that can answer their questions in real time. So what we've done is we've set the ability to route leads by location, by price point, by time of day. You can broadcast, you can round robin. The system is built pretty sophisticated leads, so you can make sure that you're sort of matching the consumer's needs and your business needs so that the consumer gets the best contact back from an agent, and that agent is getting the best lead in real time. That makes sense. And if there's any questions on this, I'm happy to take them towards the end. What we're also doing is we are giving the team lead 100% transparency. So as I mentioned earlier about tracking your performance individually, if you're a team lead, you have visibility into all leads from a master performance dashboard. And this dashboard tracks all of your team members, how many leads they got, how many need follow-up, the average price points, and what GCI you stand to make should you convert at, like, say, 3% of the leads. And we're giving you all this information both mobilely and on desktop, and you can understand how your team members are treating the leads if you're on a team. Okay, so I've mentioned this concept of Premier Agent a few times. I always think of Premier Agent as the foundation. Should you decide in the future, or some of you might be Premier Agents today, it's the basis of our entire program is this concept of showcasing yourself in a zip code by impression, how often you want to show up, and ultimately showing up on Zillow, Trulia, and our partner websites to obtain leads that then you connect with the consumer, you establish rapport, a relationship, you then close a property, and then the cycle continues. And you measure and track your return on investment. That's the important thing. No matter where you advertise, always track and measure your ROI, or your return on investment. And so some agents have done incredibly well on this program over the last 7 years. What we've seen, though, is our business changes constantly, and so does yours. And we have iterated on the Premier Agent program at least a dozen times. So I'm going to tell you now what the newest iteration of this program is. And really, we're giving you all more flexibility, transparency, and control than you've ever had before. Historically, you'd have to call a salesperson at Zillow, understand the metrics, understand approximately how many leads you would get. We would make you commit to 6 months or 12 months, and you couldn't be fluid. You'd want to change zip codes, we'd say, well, your contract ends in 3 months. Today, if you want to change zip codes, you can do that at your leisure. It's more flexible, you see more metrics, and so I want to highlight a little bit about how this works. Should you decide to advertise, or you're just curious about pricing, you can now go to your My Ads section in your profile. You go to advertising, you'll click on My Ads, they're in blue on the screen here, and then you'll be displayed a map. You can put in a zip code, and you're going to see metrics that you've never seen before. Estimated return on investment obviously is the #1 metric, and I can explain that in a minute. The cost per lead, the estimated amount of leads, the average home value. If you calculate all those things and you're at, say, we always think agents convert about 3% of the leads, that should get you a 5.5% return on investment based on those metrics. These metrics are how agents are making these sophisticated business decisions on advertising today on Zillow and Trulia. And we're giving you the ability to browse and select zip codes on your own. In fact, we're also giving you the ability to see which other agents are advertising in the zip code. So you'll see a leaderboard, and depending on your budget and the amount of share of voice that you can afford or that you want to advertise in, you'll be displayed in this leaderboard and basically that then correlates with how much advertising you'll get. Now, some agents want to advertise higher in the summer and scale back in the winter. That's all available today. It's more flexible. We're not determining the price of the zip code. The market is determining the price of the zip code. And lots of questions on this. Like, I am not in sales. I will give you my email address at the end of the webinar, and should you decide that you want more information, you feel free to email me, and I can connect you with the regional person that's in your market that can help you understand this even further. But I just want to give high level that we've changed the program so many times. Today we're giving more information, transparency, and control to you all. We also have heard over the course of the last few years that listings and inventory is low, that a listing lead is more valuable than a buyer's lead. And so what we've done is we've continued to figure out how we can engage the homeowner who might be saving their home on Zillow, claiming their home, understanding their Zestimate. We've developed an owner dashboard to give them more insights into their home, and we're connecting more stickiness between the consumer who is a seller and the home that they own, and giving them information on the best time to list and all of these things that we hope turn into a seller lead. So what I'm describing here is a product called Seller Boost. What this is consumer, seller, homeowner is on their profile, on their listing page. They're interacting with their home more frequently. We're sending them targeted email. We're encouraging them to look at the best time to list. We're allowing them to determine sale price. And then at the end, the entire way through the process, we're directing them to ask an agent, because the seller, as we all know, can get only so far without the help of a trusted advisor and a professional, and that's you ultimately. And so we want them to engage you all at the right time. And what this program is doing is it's driving high-quality seller listing leads to you all, and at that point in time you can nurture and contact these folks. And again, the conversion process is a little bit different between a buyer and a seller lead, but we want agents to have a healthy amount of both. And should you decide Seller Boost is a good fit for your business, again, contact me and I can put you in touch with the right people. But ultimately, engaging homeowners, having them understand their home property a little bit better, creating stickiness, and then connecting them all to one of you. Premier Agent Concierge. I think I've probably said lead or lead conversion a dozen times so far today. I want to emphasize this point that historically, when a lead would be generated to an agent, so a consumer goes onto Zillow or Trulia, they hit contact agent. We would survey them and we would ask them, did you get contacted back? And overwhelmingly, the answer was, I contacted an agent and I didn't get a response. And that's a problem for us and our product. It's also a problem for just humanity. Like, we all miss emails frequently. I miss an email, I miss a lead, you miss a lead. It's totally normal. We're busy. We're at different appointments at different times. And what we've done is we looked deeply inside of our skill sets as a business, and Zillow is very good at building and scaling large teams. We now have 300 employees, US-based in Denver and in Seattle, who are part of a concierge program. And this concierge program, essentially what it is the concierge team at Zillow and Trulia are the first responder, should you choose to opt into this program, to all inquiries. Meaning, if you are at that listing appointment and you get a lead, and we know the consumer needs an immediate response, concierge will contact them on your behalf. We very quickly vet them. We ask them if they're a true buyer or seller, if they're working with another agent, and let's say they're interested in a rental, or if they're a solicitor, we don't connect you to those leads. We only connect you to viable buyer or seller leads that are not working with another agent. And at that point in time, your phone rings and we hot transfer the consumer to you. If you're not available, we'll set an appointment. If we can't reach the consumer, we'll try them multiple times to, again, get you that live transfer. And as soon as you start engaging with Concierge, you're kind of keeping track of all of this inside of the Premier Agent app. We add notes to each lead, and ultimately, this is, again, our attempt to, each and every single time the consumer hits contact agent on Zillow or Trulia on desktop or mobile, we want to connect them with a live agent as soon as possible. So the concierge program fits very nicely into our scheme here of getting consumers really great information, connecting them to an agent as soon as possible, getting you that live consumer, and then letting you go to work, meeting them in a coffee shop or meeting them at a listing or whatever you need to do to get them into your client base. And that's our program called Premier Agent Concierge. Okay, another new program is called Premier Agent Direct. This is a fascinating partnership that we now have with Facebook. What we've done here is we understand that there are, I think of this example like Zappos, or have you ever looked online at Amazon and you looked at a pair of hiking boots, and all of a sudden in your Facebook news feed, those hiking boots are forever on your screen? And we all experience that. It's a little creepy, but it does sort of work. And what we've done here is we're targeting, and it's called precision targeting is what it is, and we are now taking consumers that shop on Zillow and Trulia Zillow Trulia mobile and desktop. And as we are understanding their search behaviors and where they're locating and where they are searching for property, when they go back to their Facebook news feed, we're displaying for agents that are participating in this program, just listed, recently sold, or a nice agent image profile right in their news feed. This is all about branding. So we've talked a lot about lead generation, but what we haven't really discussed in great detail is this concept of branding yourself. And branding is a little different. Sure, it can drive direct leads, but this concept of turning into maybe the local celebrity in your neighborhood, that's what we're after here. We want consumers to understand they can search on Zillow and Trulia, but once they go back to the number one social network in the entire world, as they're scrolling to their news feed, hey, there you are again, right? And should they decide then to click on one of your ads on Facebook, they're then directed to your own personalized landing page. This landing page is you, your reviews, your past sales, obviously a way to contact you directly, and then basically Susan recently sold this home in your neighborhood and giving them a way to contact you. So they're on Zillow and Trulia, they see a listing, they see your face, they go to social media, which I know we all do all the time, and all of a sudden there you are again. This is all about branding, but we're extending it beyond Facebook. We're allowing now the creation here of a sponsored advertisement that shows above all the listings, and this is all part of the Premier Agent Direct program. And that spot can be interchanged with a static ad, which is what you just saw, or it can be exchanged with a video. We have a national vendor that helps agents create these 2-minute videos at your home or your office to really brand you as well. So these videos show up front and center on your profile. They also show up on where the buyer's agent list. You'll see Susan Peterson with the rectangle box, and there's a little video icon there. That's, again, to drive the consumer to say, well, Susan Peterson's unique. She's got a video. They click on her profile, they turn on that YouTube video, and all of a sudden they've got a 2-minute clip of you all. This is all about branding. It's all called Premier Agent Direct. It's probably our newest, most exciting program that a lot of agents are excited about. But again, before I transition, and I'm just got a couple more slides here. Premier Agent is the foundation. From there, you add on listing boost or seller boost and getting listing leads. From there, you might consider branding. And below Premier Agent, in fact, is if you don't advertise, it's your profile, it's your online presence, it's having, using the video walkthrough program. So there's a lot of free tools that you can leverage, and then there's the paid stuff that a lot of agents are seeing success with. Should it fit your budget? Should it fit the right time in your business? Okay, I just want to end here on a couple of resources. Susan alerted me yesterday that you all actually have your own resource center, so I don't want this to be confusing with your resource center, but Zillow does have a resource center as well, and it's our what we call our agent resource center. You can go to it at www.zillow.com/agent-resources. Tips, training, scripts, tools, events, webinars, all of that is built into that. You can also access it directly from your Premier Agent app. And then lastly here, I just wanted to let everyone know about this consumer study report that we did. It's the Consumer Housing Trends Report from 2016. It was a national survey of about 13,000 buyers, sellers, renters, and homeowners. We asked them 165 questions. We found out that millennials are buying homes more than we thought. It's a pretty exciting report. It is lengthy, but it is totally free. You can download it and understand the mindset of today's consumer deeper. So we've invested a lot of time understanding these people because we feel like if we can understand the consumer better, we can inform you all on the consumer habits and behaviors and trends so that you can be more prepared and equipped to connect back to the consumer as quickly as possible. So this is a free report. It's at www.zillowgroupreport.com. You can download it. Again, 165 questions. And I think on Friday, you'll get a one-page PDF just recapping that. I think Susan's going to be sending a recap of this webinar and then also a one-pager on this consumer study report. But you can download it anytime that works for you. Okay, that's what I have for today, and I just wanted to thank you all again. Make sure you have my contact information. It's andrewh@zillowgroup.com. I'm happy to take questions now, Susan, and then we can also go offline if anyone wants to contact me directly. They certainly can. So thank you, everybody.
That's great, Andrew. Thank you so much. Yes, we do have some questions. You know, we often think about Zillow as a source for buyer leads, and certainly my ears pricked up when you started to talk about seller leads. Can you tell folks again how they go about getting those seller leads? How can they participate in that?
Yeah, absolutely. The Seller Boost program is probably the #1 way to connect with a seller online right now, and especially on Zillow and Trulia, what we're doing is we are encouraging homeowners to interact with their homes more frequently. So I myself, 7 years ago, the day that I got hired at Zillow, claimed my home on Zillow. From that point forward, Zillow emails me updates on my Zestimate, updates me on my home facts, and I can go in and I can manipulate my property, or if I added a bedroom or a bathroom or any of these things that I'm doing to get more connected to my home. Recently, we launched an owner dashboard, which goes even deeper. It's that next layer of information. It's that I want to now understand the best time to list. I want to engage my home. I'm getting closer to that sales process, and the entire way through that process, we're encouraging them to ask an agent for help. So no matter what page they're on their owner dashboard, there's always a contact agent button. Agents who are advertising in that program, Seller Boost, are getting those leads from those homeowners, and that's the way that we're driving listing leads to sellers today, or to agents today.
That's great. That's great. What about agents who don't have any listings yet? Any listings yet? They don't have any sales yet. They're brand new to the business. They should still go in and set up their profile in Zillow, right? What else can you do for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think about the fact that everybody starts somewhere, and you know, don't be shy, or don't feel like because Zillow's been around a while now and some agents have hundreds of reviews on their profile, gosh, how am I ever going to compete? Because if you decide to be in this business, in this industry for a while, you do have to start somewhere. I'll mention that when you ask for reviews, you can ask for reviews not just from a closed transaction, but anybody that you're currently working with. I encourage agents to do this regularly because in Seattle, for example, the inventory is so tight that when maybe there's been 5 offers submitted on a property and you haven't successfully gotten your client into a contract yet, and maybe they're taking a break from looking, that's a great time to ask them for a review. Gosh, we put a lot of time and work into this process. Well, how about you review me for the work that we've done thus far? That's a great time to ask for a review. And so if you don't have reviews or past sales and you don't have a lot of a track record, a great place to start is with the current people that you're working with. The other thing I would recommend doing is try to figure out who the successful agents are in your office, or premier agents that might be advertising that you can leverage. I mentioned that team profile, and what I'm encouraging a lot of newer agents to do is network. Get with someone who's been a premier agent for a while, and perhaps they are inundated with leads, and perhaps some of those routing rules and those options to route leads might hit your inbox, and maybe there's a split that you negotiate or something unique. But if you're a newer agent, I would try to find a busy agent who's got a lot of leads and that are leveraging online lead generation, and connect with them, and then start building your reputation up from there.
That's great. So it's still a great tool for agents who are new to the business. That's super.
Yeah, and don't forget, one more thing, and don't forget the video walkthrough and all of you just creating an online presence. I mean, just the fact that you have a profile with 0 reviews and 0 past sales, and your consumer Googles they may at least read the bio that you wrote of yourself, right? Like keep that in mind. Just always have that online presence, even if you're still building up your reputation system.
Right, right. And reminder, I mean, that was a great idea, Andrew, about getting reviews on people you're currently working with. And just a reminder to our Exit associates that your reviews are fed automatically back to exitrealty.com onto your bio page. So you'll get the double benefit of that, too. Next question. We'd like to know if the Exit agent who appears as the listing agent on a listing appears above a paid Premier subscriber who paid for that zip code.
Oh, in terms of where listing agents appear on what we call the buyer's agent list?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So an Exit agent will always show above the 3 Premier agents that are advertising, and that happens automatically. In fact, that's how the system is generated across Zillow and Trulia. The benefit to Exit is that the branding of the name brand is also attached to that. So not every everybody who shows as a listing agent has their brokerage associated with it, whereas Exit does. And yes, the answer to the question is you carry a listing, Exit will send Zillow and Trulia a listing feed. You, the listing agent, will automatically, your profile will automatically show up above the 3 premier agents that are advertising. And that does drive organic leads. Yep.
Awesome. We're really pleased to hear that. That's great. You mentioned, when you were talking about the concierge, you mentioned that the rental leads aren't put through the concierge. They're important to us, especially in markets like New York City, for example. How do we get those rental leads?
Absolutely. I love when I hear an agent say that they can convert a rental lead. Like a rental lead sometimes is a buyer. You just have to dive into them a little bit deeper. And so what we've done to streamline the concierge process is, again, we are not hot transferring our rental lead to an agent in real time. However, if you use the Premier Agent app, you always get a push notification when you get that new contact, regardless of whether you're on Concierge or not. If you're on Concierge and you get that contact, you'll get a notification from Concierge that says rental lead not working. However, they always show up in your database. So what a lot of agents are doing is they're saying, great, well, Zillow is scrubbing my leads for me. The Concierge didn't pass that rental lead. However, I can go into my Premier Agent app. I can look at my inbox and I can contact them myself. And that's the next level of, we only want an agent's phone to ring via the Concierge number. Most agents program that as money in their phone, like when money calls. You know, we've got a viable buyer-seller lead that we've semi-scrubbed on the hotline, and therefore it should be a pretty important phone call to take. The rentals, some agents complain about them, and so we just made a decision that we're not going to hot transfer those, but they will always show up in your software, in the inbox of your Premier Agent app.
That's great. I'm going to ask this question exactly as it's written. Hopefully you can understand what this attendee is asking. She says she pays $10 a month to be a Premier Agent without a zip code, but has other perks, for example, coming soon. How do we delete the Zestimate on coming soon?
Okay, that's like a 2 or 3 part question. So the $10 the $10 a month subscription is specifically for what we call a Premier Agent website. So it's interesting because when you buy a website, like if you don't have a website and you want to spend $10 a month, you can opt into becoming a subscriber. You buy a domain. Andrew Havzala sells realestate.com. If it's available, we then help you customize your website. Now you have your own web presence on your own customizable website, and we're hosting that for you. Okay, so that's part one. What that also does to your profile is because you're spending even $10 a month, it designates your profile as a Premier Agent. That doesn't mean you're showing up on the advertising though. It just is the $10 a month is exclusive for the advertising. Now coming soon is the second part of this question, which is only available to Premier Agents in certain markets where coming soons are allowed. Now coming soon is the ability to market a property before it hits the market. We don't basically condone this should it not be condoned in your own marketplace. In Seattle, they're forbidden. You're not allowed to post a coming soon. In markets in California, they might be accessible, and that's okay. And we give Premier Agents the ability to post a listing ahead of time should that work in your MLS. And just in the rules of your marketplace. But the country's so diverse and the real estate industry is so diverse, we offer that product, but we don't let you know if you should use it, shouldn't use it. We basically market it. It's only exclusive for Premier Agents and in markets where they're allowed.
Gotcha. So how do you delete the Zestimate on that?
Oh, that was the fourth part of the question.
Yeah.
The Zestimate cannot be deleted. In any case, we have 100 million homes on Zillow, and we're basically showcasing every home in the country for the most part, and each one of those homes, the majority of them have Zestimates on them, and there is no way to delete a Zestimate off of a property page.
Gotcha. That's good to know. We have 2 more questions. Is there a way for co-agents to show up on Zillow, both on the buyer and seller side? Co-agents. There is, the best way to show up as a co-agent is to leverage the team profile. So one agent would be the team lead, and the other would be the team member. That would be one way to do it. The other way to do it,
predominantly and historically prior to the team profile is that two people that were a team would take a photo together, and then they would display that photo in the image on Zillow and Trulia, and then they would change the team name to either be the name of the team or both the names of each agent. So Bob and Sue, maybe they're a husband and wife, or if they're not a husband and wife, it was just the two team members' names together with a joint photo. So those are the two options to kind of co-agent, if you will. There's also a program called Lender Co-Marketing, which you can have a lender help subsidize your advertising costs. They pay Zillow directly. That is a program that we offer to help agents and lenders connect to the advertising together. Otherwise, the co-agent, those are the two ways to do it.
That's great. Our last question then, can you flip back to the slide where you showed those metrics for advertising costs and describe again to folks how they get to that spot?
Okay, so let me go back through the deck here.
While you're flipping to that, a lot of folks were asking how they get a recording of the session. The session will be uploaded to the Exit Resource Center and will be available there later this afternoon or tomorrow, and you'll also be able to view it on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that.
Great, thanks, Susan. And here's how it works. Literally, what the slide says, how it works. Where you would go is once you're logged into your profile, you'll go to the advertising tab at the top of the page, and then you will click, it's highlighted in blue at the moment, and then you will go to a tab that says My Ads. Once you do that, I'm almost positive you'll be prompted on this page. If you are brand new, there is a chance that you might have to actually call in and talk to a business consultant to activate this page, and that's what I'm going to have to double check, and I can let anybody know who's interested or if you have that experience. But if you've never touched the advertising before, to get to this page, I'm going to have to double check, but there's a chance you might have to call in and talk to somebody first, and then you'll have access to this page where you can browse zip codes, type in the zip code, see the metrics, and then ultimately put in a budget, and then you can play with that blue button that goes horizontally, and you can increase your budget, decrease your budget, figure out what your share of voice is, and then treat it like a shopping cart. You'd add the advertising, and then you would check out, and then boom, your advertising. But the best thing to do is to talk to a business consultant, because just because we've given agents more flexibility and control of the advertising, we're not taking away the job of a business consultant to partner with you. Many agents tell us that their business consultant is an extension of their business. These are advisors that are incredibly consultative, incredibly friendly, and incredibly inspired to help you grow, not just take your money. We want to make sure that we match good agents with good advertising, and I would leverage that relationship that we offer as part of this. And they dream in your zip codes. Trust me. I mean, these folks are extremely knowledgeable, extremely wise, and they're just trying to get agents the best deal for what you're trying to accomplish in your business.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew, and thank you to our sponsor, Zillow Group, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. Watch your email for useful follow-up information from Zillow Group, and as always, watch for information on upcoming sessions. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.